Dinner had always been a tense affair at my parents' house. Ever since I could remember, my father, Robert, had a way of measuring everyone against my older brother, Michael. At first, I thought it was harmless teasing, but over the years, it had become a constant pressure I could never escape. That night, the tension in the air was palpable. The smell of roasted chicken filled the dining room, but it did nothing to ease my anxiety. I tried to focus on my plate, hoping for a quiet evening. Then came the words I had dreaded. "Daniel," my father said, cutting into the roast with sharp precision, "you're not half the man your brother is." The words struck me like a cold gust of wind. I felt my chest tighten, my fork clattering slightly against the plate. I looked at him, stunned, unsure whether to erupt in anger or retreat silently. My mother shifted uncomfortably, glancing between us. Michael, sitting across from me, avoided my gaze entirely, sensing the storm brewing. For a long moment, I simply stared, trying to process the humiliation and pain hidden in my father's words. All those years of striving, of carving my own path, suddenly seemed worthless in his eyes. Then, slowly, I pushed my chair back, letting it scrape against the hardwood floor. The sound echoed in the tense room. My father's eyes widened. "Daniel, what are you doing?" he demanded, his voice firm but tinged with confusion. I met his gaze steadily. "Dad, can I finish my dinner without being compared to Michael?" My voice was calm but carried the weight of years of frustration. He frowned. "I'm just being honest. You need motivation." I shook my head, the corners of my mouth tight. "Motivation? No, Dad. This isn't motivation. This is shame. And I won't accept it anymore." Mom's eyes glistened with unshed tears, and Michael's hands tightened around his fork. The room fell silent, except for the faint ticking of the clock on the wall. "You think you can lecture me?" Dad asked, rising slightly from his chair. His face was flushed with anger, but I remained composed. "I'm not lecturing," I said, standing fully. "I'm telling the truth. Comparing me to my brother doesn't make me better. It only drives us apart and makes me question my worth in ways I don't deserve." He opened his mouth, trying to interrupt, but I held up my hand. "No, let me finish. I've spent my whole life trying to measure up to someone else, and it's destroyed me. I'm done. I'm done living under the shadow of comparison." Michael shifted uncomfortably, looking down at his plate, but I didn't break my focus. I needed this moment to be about truth, not apology or defensiveness. Dad's face turned a mixture of shock and disbelief. You've always been my son. I just wanted the best for you." I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. "I understand that, but wanting the best doesn't mean you get to define what my best looks like. I need to find that for myself." Mom whispered, almost to herself, "Daniel, he's not listening like before." I ignored her softly spoken words and continued, my voice steady. "I'm not Michael, and I don't want to be. I'm Daniel, and I need to stand on my own, by my own accomplishments, without constant comparison." Dad's face hardened. "You think I didn't notice your successes? You think I don't see what you've achieved?" I shook my head. "I know you notice, but it's never enough. It's always about how I fall short compared to someone else. That's not love, Dad. That's not support. That's judgment." A heavy silence settled over the table. Even Michael looked up, eyes wide with a mix of guilt and relief that the confrontation was finally happening. "I need you to understand something," I said, my tone softer but resolute. "I've spent years trying to earn approval that I never asked for, but now I'm done seeking it. I'm done living in your definition of success." Dad's eyes flickered with confusion, hurt, and perhaps a dawning understanding. "Are you saying you're leaving?" I shook my head. "Not leaving physically. I'm leaving the need for approval behind. I'm carving my own path, my own life, without your comparisons guiding every step." Mom exhaled slowly, relief and tension mingling in her breath. Michael gave me a small, approving nod. Dad leaned back, his jaw tight. "It's a lot to take in. I didn't mean to hurt you." "I know you didn't, Dad," I said gently, "but intention doesn't erase impact. You've made me question my value for far too long, and tonight I'm reclaiming it. The rest of the dinner passed in quiet tension. No more comparisons, no more subtle barbs. For the first time, I felt my worth recognized not by praise, but by asserting my right to define it myself. Weeks passed. I focused on my work, my hobbies, and my personal growth. I no longer measured my life against Michael's milestones or achievements. One evening, Dad called me. "Daniel, can we talk?" "I've been thinking about what you said." I nodded internally, my heart calm. "Of course, Dad." We met at a quiet cafe. This time, he didn't compare me once. He asked about my projects, my goals, and my life. For the first time, I felt genuine pride, not because I had proven anyone wrong, but because I claimed my own path. Dad smiled a small, sincere smile. "I see now how hard you've worked, Daniel. How much you've achieved on your own." I returned the smile, feeling a warmth I hadn't felt in years. "Thank you, Dad. That means more than I can say." Walking home that evening, I realized something crucial. Success isn't measured by comparison. It's measured by growth, courage, and the ability to stand tall even when others doubt you. Michael would continue his life, and I would continue mine side by side, but on separate journeys. And in that moment, I knew I had won something far greater than praise or approval. I had won myself.